Our modern lives and the risk of skin damage make it harder and harder to spend time in the sun. That means less vitamin D3, which our bodies need for a healthy immune system. Supplements are less effective because vitamin D3 does not absorb well through the digestive tract. So, what can you do? Introducing Viv by Rain. Viv delivers plant-based vitamin D3, where your body can absorb it quickly before ever hitting your digestive tract. Viv is micronized, which creates smaller molecules for increased absorption. Organic, vegan, non-GMO, and all natural. Superior ingredients, superior results. Viv, a spray of sunshine.
All right. Okay, that's a little teaser video on this new product, Viv, that's coming out. And at first glance, you might think like it's something like a normal D3, but it's nothing like that. Yes, it has the benefits of it, and you're going to hear more about it, but there's so much more behind it. And today, with the world where we're at and what we need, we've never needed something like this right now more than right now. Okay, so I love this because I know the impact that it's going to have. But the best person to learn from is not me. I'm not a doctor. I just get excited, right? I get excited about these things because I love them. So let's go, and we've got a video with Dr. Templeman kind of explaining, and Russ is going to do some question and answer. We want to give you some more details, and then afterwards, we're going to bring Russ up to break a couple of these things down because he's been in the mix of this whole thing, obviously. So let's get the video of Dr. T going and Russ, and we'll come right back at you after this is done.
Hello everyone, it is such a pleasure to be here with Dr. Templeman once again, especially after the announcement of our newest product, Viv. We are really excited about this product. We've done a lot of research and a lot of studies on that, large in part to the support and help from Dr. Templeman here. And we are going to take a few minutes here and just chat for a few minutes and go through some questions about why this particular product is so amazing and so important. Well, Dr. Templeman, what do you think of our newest product, Viv?
Well, I'm impressed because it is a top-line supplement that meets important health needs and reflects the kind of ideal cooperation which can exist between nutritional research scientists from university laboratories and supplement companies.
In your opinion, what is the most crucial need that this product meets?
Well, over a decade ago, the World Health Organization declared that we had a worldwide epidemic of low vitamin D. They estimated that more than 1 billion people were deficient in vitamin D to levels that could cause serious health threats. And interestingly, that was true even in tropical countries.
So, tropical countries, why is that interesting?
Well, it's interesting and surprising because 90% of the vitamin D that we obtain comes most readily from skin exposure to sunlight. And so you would think that in countries where there's a great deal of sunlight that the levels of vitamin D would be higher, but they're not. This is possibly because of several reasons. And the first is that people today simply do not walk around with 40% of their skin exposed to the sun, even in tropical countries. And secondly, skin pigmentation makes a great deal of difference in the amount of vitamin D that is made when the skin is exposed to ultraviolet rays. The more pigment that is present, the less vitamin D that is produced. The skin pigment acts like the sunblocks in suntan lotions. And finally, sun exposure can lead to premature skin aging and even to the development of skin cancers. And most people, they know this very well.
So what are some of the consequences in having low vitamin D?
Well, most of us are familiar with vitamin D because it's a vitamin. But in a real sense, it's very much more. Vitamin D is the only vitamin that is also a hormone. And a hormone is a key regulatory substance in the body that affects important functions even at a great distance from where it is produced. As a result, it is important to recognize that there is a receptor on virtually every body cell for vitamin D. And the implication from that is that within every cell of the body, there is some function that cannot be optimal without an adequate amount of vitamin D present to bind to the receptor and to enter the cell. Just a couple of decades ago, not long, we used to believe that vitamin D was important principally for the formation of bone and teeth. But we now know that it's an integral part of a healthy immune system to protect us against infective threats and other damage to the body. We have learned as well that it is extremely important for brain function, for digestion, for sleep, and to protect against the development of autoimmune conditions which are becoming more common in our polluted environments. In short, medical science has simply not caught up with an obvious fact of nature, which is that there's a receptor everywhere in the body for vitamin D, and that the body is not going to be able to serve the needs of all these tissues and functions without an adequate amount of vitamin D. Medical research scientists are discovering every day new important functions for vitamin D, far more than we as doctors ever expected.
You mentioned something about bones, and I know that we don't see rickets much more anymore, and that's a deficiency of vitamin D in our bodies. And yet we haven't seen much of this anymore, probably because of the supplementation and the enrichment of vitamin D in the foods we consume. But yet we still see a deficiency.
Yes, yeah. Even despite the fact that we do have many enriched foods, we do. And the sad fact is that vitamin D is not well absorbed from the digestive tract. In fact, it is the nutrient that is probably the least well absorbed of all supplements. While enriching foods can help, it does not appear to be an adequate answer, because in the United States of America, for example, there's lots of evidence in the literature, medical literature, that up to 60% of teenagers and adults have insufficient levels of vitamin D at least part of the year. Therefore, it appears that supplementation with a readily bioavailable form of vitamin D, that's something that most people need, and they apparently need it badly. When there's an insufficient amount of any key nutrient in the body switches to a triage mode, where it directs what is available of the scarce nutrient to where it would be most needed. Usually, this would be the circulatory system and the brain, because there, deficiencies can be life-threatening. However, every other place that the nutrient is required misses out, so to speak. Now, Mother Nature would not have put a receptor for vitamin D on virtually every cell unless there was a good reason to have vitamin D in virtually every cell.
Dr. Templeman, are you convinced that this product will give individuals the type of vitamin D and the quantities that our bodies need?
Yes, I am convinced that our product can deliver precisely what we are seeking in terms of adequate vitamin D. We already have tried the product in a number of volunteers, and we tested the levels of their vitamin D in the blood before using the product and then after using the product. And I think it's important to note that these were people who were already supplementing with vitamin D. And we found that in every case, their vitamin D serum levels rose significantly within 2 weeks. And I should note here that if they had gone to their doctor and been given recommendations for raising their vitamin D levels, the results, in my experience as a doctor, would have been much less impressive. And, for me, this makes sense, because the scientist who did the research and the design for the product used micronized particles, very, very small, and a delivery system which optimizes bioavailability. The vitamin D in this product becomes available to the body starting in the mouth, even before it is processed in the rest of the GI tract. This is an efficiency that without recent scientific advances in delivery systems would not have been possible at all. And again, I should note that the products which are available on the shelves in the stores, they really do not even come close to being as bioavailable as this new product.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Can you comment on the unique nature of this product in the marketplace?
Yeah, I think that in addition to being a micronized spray, the product is fully vegan. The vitamin D is an extract of an expensive lichen called reindeer moss. For folks who base their health on avoiding animal-derived nutrients, this product is the best and perhaps the only acceptable solution for their supplementation. And additionally, it contains other ingredients besides vitamin D, which sets it apart from the competition. And I'm going to get back to that in a couple of moments.
Yeah, it's tremendous. When we began this interview, you mentioned a few things about the relationships between companies and universities and the studies in that. Can you add on that in terms of what we've done here?
Yes, that's true. Because unfortunately, in my opinion, the supplement industry generally, they just don't take into consideration the advances of science. And these are not well integrated into the design and the production of products. The relationship that you, Rain International, have developed with the University of Maryland Nutritional Science Department, you got to realize that's very unusual. If I understand correctly, you've been collaborating with them over the years on the development of your supplements. And in this particular case, it is not simply the delivery system advantages that were the result of scientific breakthroughs, but also one of the seed-derived ingredients in the new product comes from that research. This seed extract is intended to make a difference with a very important topic in general health, the microbiota.
And by microbiota, you're referring to the bacteria that's in the gut and what that can end up producing of the elements, those nutrients for the body, right?
Yes. The microbiota refers to these micronutrients, bacterial and otherwise, which live in our gastrointestinal tract and also on our skin. These microorganisms have co-evolved with us for eons, and it is a symbiotic relationship where the bacteria and the microorganisms benefit from living in and on our body, and we definitely benefit enormously from their presence and their activity in the incredible bioreactor that they activate in our GI tract. They produce, for example, most of the micronutrients, most of the neurotransmitters that the body needs. They produce vitamins, antibiotics, and multiple essential elements for every body organ system. Now, we used to say and talk about the gut-brain connection, but we now know that there is a connection with every body system that is absolutely essential for proper function with the gut. It gives a new meaning to the old expression, you are what you eat, because diet and supplementation determine the health of our microbiota, and our full body health is dependent upon it for its health. It is impossible, in my opinion, to overestimate the importance that microbiota has. It is my belief that it will be declared an organ system within the next few years, and therefore it's going to become a part of our body. And if that happens, guess what? We're going to be 57% bacterial.
So that could be a really paradigm shift in how we think about ourselves and our health. Tell us about the seed-derived ingredient and the importance of it.
Well, to do that, I have to explain a little bit about the type of bacteria that we have in our gut and what they like to eat. Essentially, there is a balance between good guys and bad guys in the gut population. And if we do not feed the good guys what they need in adequate amounts, or what they require, or if we were to eat too much of what the bad guys want, our health will suffer. and the wrong crowd gets in charge of the gut. Desirable bacteria in the gut largely subsist on the fiber that is in our foods and on the polyphenols that are present in our diet. Polyphenols can be thought of as a large category of nutrients derived principally from fruits and vegetables. They are most plentiful in the pigments of the fruits and the vegetables that we consume. However, in North America, we simply do not consume enough of the things which the desirable bacteria in our gut thrive upon. Habitually, we eat less than half of the ideal amount of fiber and only 60% of the polyphenols that we should be consuming. The seed-derived element is rich in polyphenols and provides essential nutrition for that portion of the bacteria that we're trying to cultivate and propagate. In addition to not eating sufficient amounts of the basics, we also consume more than 65% of our food in the form of processed food. This means that the food is not in the form that it comes from nature and that it has been manipulated and manufactured. And in each step of the manipulation, there is a loss of these essential nutrients and food additives, which are plentiful in processed food. Although they may add to taste, they actually kill the desirable bacteria in our gut. So when we are compared to societies which still eat unprocessed foods, we have fewer bacteria and fewer of the desirable type of bacteria in that bioreactor, which makes so many essential elements for our health.
And that is what I love, a product that gives adequate amounts of the vitamin D and it gives a support to the microbiota.
Yes.
What else good news? I mean, what other information do you have?
Well, actually, there is more good news than that. Rain decided to put in a beneficial ringer into this new product, a real freebie, so to speak. It is an extract of a plant called sea buckthorn. Sea buckthorn has a rich history of usage in traditional medicine. And interestingly, it was supposed to be the special food that Genghis Khan's soldiers and army used when they conquered most of the known world and formed the largest empire that the world has ever known. Even today, the Indian army has a special drink derived from the sea buckthorn berry, which it provides in the rations of the troops who serve in the high mountains, the cold area of its country. The plant is a rich source of beneficial fatty acids and multiple flavonoids, and investigations have been carried out on human benefits for at least 7 important bodily functions. All in all, it really tops off a product that will make a significant difference, in my opinion, in the lives of those who decide to use it regularly. I'm excited about it.
It truly is an amazing product, folks. We have put so much thought and effort into this to be able to give individuals a product that, again, is needed by more people, I promise you, more people than you realize, having that need of vitamin D. But to go further and bring in other nutrients within the product itself in a micro-sized particle that's easily absorbable, and to be able to give that that functionality of our bodies to be able to consume and absorb that. It's just a powerful product.
Well, you know, in all of the years that I practiced medicine, 35 years, I'm giving away my age there, I saw a lot of people who were suffering from problems with vitamin D, but I didn't ever see one who had too much vitamin D. Potentially, there is a state where you can overdose with vitamin D, but it just simply doesn't happen. If you think of a lifeguard, for example, being out in the sun every day, that normally creates about 20,000 international units of vitamin D every single day. Now, we're not going to be providing that much, but the lifeguards didn't become toxic with vitamin D. This has a lot of upsides. And I'm convinced that it really doesn't have a downside.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned that to be able to have a product, and to vegan, to boot, right? I mean,
Right.
how incredible that is. I had the opportunity to be able to go through the study that we performed with Rain and this particular product a few weeks or months ago, I guess now, and to be able to go through that process and to see. This to me is actually a very touching product. And not to go too far, ladies and gentlemen, but there's 2 years ago, almost to the day, my mother passed away, and I'll never forget her telling me how she said and she was 75 when she passed, and she said, my doctor kept telling me to take more vitamin D, for a lot of other reasons and things. And so as we've explored this, I just can't help but think of my mom every time we talk about vitamin D, because it was something that was important for her to be taking. And having gone through that test myself at the age of 41, I gave away my age there too, I find it a very critical piece of my diet and my supplementation.
Yeah. As doctors responsible for sharing the load of how you're going to look after your health, it really is important that we let people understand about nutrition. And that's not, frankly speaking, one of the strong points of medical science. However, a regular, good doctor looking at adults who have complicated life histories and may well have had a reason to be in to see them except for an annual physical, needs to check your vitamin D levels at least once a year. Same thing with vitamin B12. You need to look at what your patients are doing and what they have in their bodies, because so much of what goes wrong with us is from the fact that we just don't get from our food all of the nutrients that we used to get.
Yeah, I'm convinced of that. Checking it on a regular basis, I was fortunate to be able to see those results go up in a dramatic way for me.
Yeah.
I saw that, I experienced that, and I felt it. I am very, very excited about what this product's going to do for all of our Rain partners, our customers. So thank you, Dr. Templeman, for your involvement, your influence, your suggestions and advice as we're able to bring this product to all of our partners.
It is always a pleasure, and I'd love to hear how people are going to use this.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward, ladies and gentlemen, to actually working with you in the coming weeks, as we too want to get some information back from you as you use this product. More information on that will come, but again, welcome. We hope you enjoy and love Vive. It has been a product that we have been excited to bring out for quite some time. So we are excited. We hope you're excited with it too. And let's continue to make it rain with Vive.
All right, quick outfit change there. Wasn't that great? We really appreciate Dr. Templeman and his involvement with this entire launch of this product. We have done things in this process that we've really have expertised. We have really improved this process in bringing out a new product. Things that we haven't done before, we were able to accomplish on this particular product. And I'm really looking forward to just wrapping up a couple of points from our video that we did with Dr. Templeman that really emphasize this product, and then also to give you something special as well. So we, of course, are going to affectionately refer to this product as a spray of sunshine, right? It's vitamin D. It's what we get naturally from the sun, but I'm telling you, not everybody can get as much as they need. I look forward to having you learn more about this product through the watching Dr. Templeman again, doing your own research. You'll find how very important vitamin D is in a lot of different ways. And I love what Rain has done through the manufacturing process, through Dr. Templeman's recommendations, to ensure that this was micronized, that you're able to get in and have it absorb at a greater rate. Some of the things that Dr. Templeman pointed out was how much of an increase we saw through the studies in a shorter period of time than otherwise experienced because of that micronization. I'll talk about that here in a second. But we really want to just go through a couple of key points. We've got some great data that we're going to share with you, some marketing materials that will teach you how to use. But let's talk about the product themselves. First of all, when you hear reindeer lectin, okay, it's not an animal. It's a moss. It's what Dr. Templeman pointed out. So people may ask that, but that particular ingredient is the source of the vitamin D. And yes, it's not a cheap source, but it is vegan. And that's what we focus here on Rain, is all of our products being vegan. And so we wanted to go out and find the best ingredient, and this particular reindeer lectin is incredible in providing that vitamin D. It's grown in temperatures that is really being able to be sourced and sustainable so that we can continue to have a great high quality product. We also put in there tomato seed oil, okay, a new seed to the Rain seed line of products. And you'll learn and see how it has a rich source of essential fatty acids. It has comprised of so many other valuable nutrients within that tomato seed itself. And of course, it has tremendous immune boosting properties also. So you'll learn more about the tomato seed on that as well. And then of course, the sea buckthorn. I thought it was really educational when Dr. Templeman spoke about the history of the sea buckthorn oil and the impact that it had on so many individuals. But again, the fact that it promotes such an optimal health, again, has immune boosting properties and for the skin as well. And then of course assists in all of the protecting against the aging, which we here at Rain are pretty big on as well, as many of our products have that particular benefit. But the other ingredients are rich and are full, and we'll talk about those, and you'll learn about how fantastic it is. But I hope each one of you realize that at Rain, we don't shortcut anything. We always ensure that there's therapeutic quantities of the raw goods, which does increase the cost of the good, but it guarantees a quality product. And this is no different than any other of our products. Let me show you this study that we've talked about so much and the impact that it had. In this 2-week study that we did, we had participants take a total of actually 10,000 units, international units of the product in the morning and in the afternoon. And in that 2-week time period, we saw some really significant increases. Things that Dr. Templeman talked about was that even in a 4 to 6 week normal suggested supplementation of a vitamin D, if he saw a 2 to 5%, it's not a percent, but a 2 to 5 increase, that would have been considered really, really great. But in just a 2-week time frame, that went up dramatically for several people, but up in everybody that we had try and go through this trial. And so to see results at the 13, at 19 points increase is really, again, quite amazing. We look forward to being able to do additional studies and have you, again, find this out for yourself. And you'll have to go to your doctor and get some studies or some blood work. But you're going to see as well that we believe this product is universally needed, because we have at Rain a fantastic group of definitely a diverse culture, and we're all around the globe and in places that don't have the type of sunlight that is needed to be able to consume the amount of vitamin D needed. And so we're pleased about this. You're going to hear more and more. Ultimately, the conclusion is that the product is certainly effective in raising the vitamin D levels in the human physiology, better than what the traditional medical treatment, as Dr. Templeman spoke about. And we again see that those that do not, or currently not supplementing with the vitamin D, those individuals, we highly recommend start supplementing with this product. Get with your physician, get those levels, and have it regularly checked. It will be, again, a benefit. And I know this personally, firsthand, how important vitamin D is. Now, here's the price. We know that people are asking that. Okay, the retail's $39.95. for our fantastic preferred customers and Rain partners who have committed to that monthly subscription, you're going to get that at $34.95. And you'll see down there that 25 CV, and it is 6.25 CV that comes from the customer purchases. However, pay attention. Everybody listening? Okay, everybody's listening. Here's what we're going to do. For a very limited time, for those that have access to this product, okay, which is here in North America for now, we have already began the process through our legal and regulatory department to register the product in the countries that we're in. We are much further on some than on others, just by virtue of some of the government processes that we have to go through, and certainly dealing with the pandemic has slowed some things down. But we know who you are. We know that you're here because you put your name in when you registered. So we will have this similar offer when it comes available in your country. But here's what we're doing, okay? For each Rain partner and customer who goes on and gets this product and puts it into their subscription, they will get it for $32.95. This subscription, okay, as long as it is on there and it stays on there, they will have that price forever. But, okay, if you cancel or you take it off, you can certainly get it back on, but you'll get it back on at the full price. So between now and Tuesday, okay, the 14th, go in there, grab this product, put it on your subscription, and get the better price forever, okay? Now, again, let me just say this because I don't want anybody to feel bad or feel left out. We know who you are. We know that you put your name in here. So once we do launch in your country, we will create this limited time offer to give you a bit of a benefit as well. Be patient as we, again, are looking to get this product around the globe, because we know that there are certain areas in this fantastic world that we live in that don't get the sunlight or that simply need a greater sense of vitamin D just based upon where they live at. So we do look forward to being able to get this into your markets and into your hands as soon as possible. So everybody, please welcome Viv to the Rain family. You're going to love it. You're going to need it. And I promise you this, you're going to be able to see some great benefits from this. Because I can say that because I have felt it. And I have seen that through this product. It's a product now that I make my son, who's 11, take. I make my daughter, who's now 17, take. And my wife takes it. We can see this value, and I'm looking forward to it getting in your hands as well. So with that, I hope you're all excited and are looking forward to this product being able to get into your hands. And with that, I'm done. I'm going to kick it back over to this great man right here.